Hey! This is the third part of a 3-part series where I share some of the lesser known mechanics / tips of the first 3 Metal Gear Solid games. All of these tips will affect gameplay, and I'm guessing at least one will be new to you. But if you already know all of these, that's okay. Some people don't, like me. If you haven't seen the previous videos for the first 2 games, feel free to check them out. For now, here are my top 5 lesser known mechanics and tips in Metal Gear Solid 3. So Metal Gear Solid 3 introduced CQC, which I've made fun of before because it's kind of touted as a whole different style from what came in the previous 2 games, but is largely pretty similar. But it does add some useful and important new tools, some of which I ignored or didn't know about for a long time. You probably know that if you run into an enemy and hold the melee attack button, you'll throw them to the ground and knock them out for a short time. But what you may not know is that if you stand still and grab them, and then move the stick to throw them to the ground, it doesn't knock them out. And if you immediately aim your weapon at them, they'll put their hands on their head and stay on the ground indefinitely. Even if everyone else goes on full alert, they will not get up. Hell, you can throw them down mid-battle and they'll stay down. The only way these guys will ever get up is if you let someone else walk over and tell them to stand. Something else you can do when holding onto an enemy is interrogation. And sometimes they'll give you radio frequencies. And sometimes those radio frequencies can be used to call in airstrikes. Yep, believe it or not, they put airstrikes into Snake Eater and pretty much never mentioned it, as far as I can tell. The drawbacks are pretty rough though. For one, there are only a certain few areas where you can even request air support, and when you do, it's not exactly a precision strike. This tip is maybe not that useful, but it was just so crazy to me when I found out about it. One nice thing is that even though the frequencies can only be used one time each, you can stack up as many frequencies as you can find and use them whenever you have the chance. You do have to be told the frequencies for them to work though. This next one is sort of a spoiler, I suppose, so skip ahead if you're worried about that. So in the hangar where they store the Shagohod, there are a bunch of engineers milling around, mostly just pacing or staring at the machinery. I had never thought to do this myself because I'm not an animal, but if you slaughter all the engineers, the Shagohod will actually have less health at the start of the boss fight. I did all my testing on hard mode, so it may have even less health on lower difficulties. This one is something that I just discovered by total accident while playing through the game recently. At the beginning of the Snake Eater mission, the boss whips your ass, disarms you, and blows up the pod you showed up in. This causes these 2 guards to come investigate and call in a caution phase, which can be kind of a pain to navigate. However, if you position yourself in the right place and use your fake death pill, one of them will stumble across your seemingly dead body and call off the search. Once he moves past you, you can sneak through the area much more easily. At least, that's the cool way to do it. You can also just run south to the next area and run back to reset everyone. Our last tip is kind of a collection of items and mechanics, all having to do with Hornets. Basically, there are 3 outfit types that are pretty important when it comes to Hornets. If you wear a white outfit, Hornets will actually ignore you completely. And conversely, wearing black will make them more aggressive. Apparently, real-life bees are more prone to attack darker colors, which is why beekeepers wear white, and why this system was implemented. This of course can be helpful throughout the game, but it's also useful for the Pain boss fight. You can pick up the snow camo right before this encounter, and it does make the Hornet clusters sting you less often. It doesn't seem to affect the other attacks though. And of course, the Pain's camo outfit will make Hornets follow you and temporarily stun any enemies you get close to. I did test wearing the camo during the Pain boss fight in the hopes that they would just not attack me at all, but it seems to just have a similar effect to wearing white. Then again, I was playing on hard mode, so results may vary on other difficulties. Well, hopefully you learned something new in this video and you've got some new things to try out while you're waiting for Delta to come out. There are of course tons of other secrets that I passed over while making this video. Metal Gear games are just packed full of Easter eggs and secrets to discover, so feel free to share your secret knowledge in the comments. And while you're here, maybe toss me a like, a subscribe. You could even check out my Patreon page or become a channel member if you want to support me directly. And if you like this video, share it with a friend. It really makes a difference for me. A big thanks from me to you, and I'll catch you in the next one.